The opinions, thoughts, and language expressed on this show are solely those of the individuals on the panel. They do not represent the thoughts or opinions of any employers, family or friends, corporations, sponsors, affiliates, or fake people. Please sit back and enjoy. All right, welcome everybody to, I believe, episode 7 of Fresh Cuts, the show. I know we've left you guys for a little bit, but we're back. We are back and in full force here with a lot of fresh cuts for you guys, a lot of different topics to talk about. I still need a haircut, and the hairline's still not looking right under here. But the rest of these guys are looking sharp, and I know you want to know who they are, so let's get to know who they are right now.
What up? It's your boy Steve, a.k.a. Stevie P, and more importantly, Boston.
What up? It's your boy Black Stefan, Brujo Mars. Oh, and Boston.
What's up, everybody? It's Ali, a.k.a. Hoffa, and Boston.
What's going on, everyone? This is your boy Big Dave, here to let y'all know Boston.
This is the guy you know as the MERC, the Merc. Boston. Hit subscribe and enjoy the show.
We're not going to talk about this week.
I don't know what
Typical.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Typical hating Mets fan.
What are you talking about?
I mean, I'm not hating. I'm just saying it's a big part in sports this week.
No. It's still early, bro.
Why you got that smirk on your fucking...
Exactly, right? Like, you got paid by
Fuck
you?
out of here. Fuck out of here. It's just a big thing in sports. He gets smirking his ass off.
Yo, you better
Right?
not have
I'm
seen
getting
that.
paid on the table, bro.
Tweets.
That's why nobody likes
We're not going to talk about it.
It's still New York all day, all right? It's still New York all day.
All right. Just making sure. It's still fuck Boston all day, by the way.
It's more like, fuck Boston now.
Nah, their team is nice, though. Their team is nice. I'll give them that.
They are,
It's
but
also, this guy's a bum.
I think
Who's a
Coach is
bum?
a bum. Manager.
Boone?
Boone. He
I
made
mean, it's
y'all
his
look
first
soft.
year.
I think
sorry.
he hasn't been forced to manage, and now with a couple of injuries and things like that, it's actually asking him to manage. This whole year, like, all he had to do is just walk out there and just go, all right, same guys, get on the field and go kill it. Like, he had too many options before. Now he's actually got to manage the game, and this is where we're going to see if he's a good coach or not. Like, this is where you're going to see, And the good news is the next 40 games are against teams 500 or more.
Trash teams. Although we can beat the Orioles for whatever reason.
It's Sonny
It's all
Gray.
right. You won't see him in the.
How is he still in the major leagues?
Why he's in the bullpen now?
I don't know, but you know what? He's locked up for the next 2 years, so it's like you're assuming. Well, he's been good on the road. That's the tricky part. Like, he's sucked at home, but he's been good on the road. So
He sucks in general.
The question is...
Nah, he got some good stuff, though. I don't know what happened.
Nah, he's trash.
what was that question?
Nah,
I was saying the question now is how bad do we have to watch our backs for this wild card now?
I'm not worried about the wild card.
Nah, but Oakland's not losing. They're only 2.5 games out already.
That's it?
That's it.
Bro. That's
Shit.
it.
They caught up
Where's
now.
Sevy? Sevy's looking kind of.
He's been struggling.
That guy trash.
Yeah, he was.
You know what's funny? He actually has started like performing worse the moment the Yankees signed his brother. I don't know what if there's a correlation there.
That's the thing.
I don't know. That
That's real
sounds
talk.
seems weird.
The fusion came apart.
Nah, everyone has their struggles throughout the year. He'll put it together.
I don't know. The
That
Red
stuff
Sox,
is nasty.
Red Sox haven't struggled at all. The only person
That's
who's
what
struggling
I'm
is the Red
saying.
Sox
Like
is Price.
their struggle is coming.
It's
So,
coming.
They could keep winning in the regular season, but I feel like they're gonna choke in the playoffs.
But that's like what happened last year too. Let's not forget that the Astros weren't the better team against the Red Sox in that first round last year. The Red Sox were better to me, and the Astros crushed them, like destroyed them, and then the Astros got hot.
The Sox shit the bed last year, though.
Yep.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
And then they fired their manager.
And so did the Indians. And let's not forget, it's still going to be the same 4 teams in the American League like last year. It's going to be the Indians, the Yankees, Red Sox, and Astros. Just what order is it going to be? And maybe the A's will get to play us, which is a scary game, man. The A's have nothing to lose. That's a scary game.
Yeah. You don't want to. I mean, you just don't want that one game playoff. Period.
Nah.
Period.
That
Let me ask you a question. As you guys are Yankee fans, and I'm not.
Yeah.
Do you think the factor of Torres not being on the team anymore had something to do, other than the major issue that Judge is out?
I like Torres, but I mean,
supposedly the whole locker room loved that dude.
yeah, no, they did. I mean, there's something to be said having a guy like that in your clubhouse because a lovable dude. He's probably mad funny on the low, don't even know it. So it sets a good tone for the clubhouse. And on the field, he was pretty good too.
The chip
he's not an all-star player though.
Is back.
You saw me trying to figure it out. I was trying to be like, is it me or the chip?
Nah, I can hear it. It sounds like somebody's eating a chip again.
Yo, is that
someone's wrong?
No, it's not me because it kept going when I covered it up.
Whose fucking phone is that, bro?
Let's see.
Maybe it's not the phone. Maybe it's your mic.
If you're watching this on YouTube, just comment below and blame one of us, and let's see who gets the most blame for the chip effect.
Real talk. Do you guys really like Severino? Do you think like he's your next?
I think so. Yeah,
Do you think he's an ace?
Yes,
yeah,
I think he's
so.
yeah. He's cut from the Pedro cloth though. Let's not deny his stuff and his.
Don't deny Pedro.
Right.
I think he's a workhorse. Don't get me wrong. But I think Andy Pettit's better. Like
Andy Pettit.
Andy Pettit was a better pitcher because he was forced to be a better pitcher. Like he was
on steroids.
Come on. Was that a real?
He was on steroids. But I'm just saying, not that he had better stuff. Just overall, he's just a better pitcher. That he will be when it's all said and done, even with Severino's.
I don't think so. Severino's stuff is filthy, yo.
I don't know. There's something about him. I don't see the consistency.
That's a random. Why are you bringing Andy Pettit?
Wasn't Severino the one that almost fucked it up for us last season during the playoff, the one-game playoff?
He was.
Game one.
Game against the Twins.
But he was too young for the lights.
And the 2 games against the Astros, they were back and forth. Like one was decent, the other wasn't.
But can we talk about how filthy Tanaka has been? Looking like an ace out here.
Yo, did you guys see how long he took in between pitches yesterday? That was.
I heard that game was 5 hours.
Yo,
yeah, those games are always too long, man.
33 seconds between pitches. That's a long time, yo.
Him and Price were boring everyone to sleep.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, baseball's trash, man.
Nah, it's not trash. It's not trash. It's got to make some upgrades, but it ain't trash.
Isn't it like 45 seconds between players in the NFL?
There's actually a timer in every stadium that's facing the catcher and the umpire. And that timer, from the moment that the catcher catches the ball, flips over to 45 seconds, right? And that's the one that the umpire uses to make sure that the pitcher stays on time. So, like,
don't use this shit.
No, well, but
they don't. They never really use
the NFL, I'm talking about like for NFL games, isn't it 45 seconds
between plays
to get to the
next
playoff?
It's 50. It's 50.
Okay, 50 seconds.
Yeah.
Yo.
So like, how you gonna complain? How you gonna complain about 33 seconds then?
Well, because baseball is a game where a ball goes 100 miles per hour in one direction and then 90 miles per hour back from the catcher. There's no reason for it to take 33 seconds to get a signal, get into position, and then pitch, and then do that process all over again. I think what they're doing is they're slowing down the game to make the hitters like uncomfortable, to make
that's the reason.
Exactly. But again, we're talking about a game that also is it's about money, right? It's not solely about the love of the game. If it was about the love of the game, we'd be sitting out there in 150-degree weather watching these guys play. People are paying to go to these games, right? They want to see a finale. How many people actually stay to the end of a baseball game nowadays? Not many.
I never do.
Not many, because
I do.
I mean, well, if you paid
depends
a lot of money, you're going to.
Depends on if the Yankees are up or not. Like, what the score is looking like.
Listen, man, I went to a game in Wrigley Field last year. It was a Sunday night baseball game between the Yankees and the Cubs. And, man, that game was amazing. And it was freezing. My hands were frozen. And it got to the bottom of the ninth, and freaking, what's his name, Chapman blew the save. And they were like, we're going to extra innings. I got in the first train out of there and just bounced back. Yo, the game went 18 innings. They played 2 games. You know my hands would have fallen off if I stayed there. This shit is crazy. Like you can't expect people to stay regardless of what the score of the game is if you're not moving at a certain pace of play, I think.
I hear that.
But how do you fix that?
Well, I think there's a few ways you fix it. I think
put a runner on second. in extra innings.
Horrible.
That's amazing. I don't know why y'all hate that idea, man.
Only if both
I don't mind it. But
only if both teams get an opportunity to do that.
yeah, they both got
Well,
it.
they would get the opportunity. I don't like it though.
I think there's a few different things. I think the mound visit idea made sense to kind of like force people to stop slowing down the game with mound visits, but that's not really what's going to change the game. You know, we talked about shifting, right? And it's like, oh, should they eliminate the shift in the game? Every time defenses have to shift between plays, it's also part of the delay of the game. But I still think that it should exist because, hey,
but they shift like
they're talking about
one
limiting
batter.
the shift now, though, right? Not just getting completely away with the shift, but limiting. The type
I
of shift.
totally disagree with that. And I know Dizzle and I had this conversation with you guys in the group chat. If you get rid of the shift because you feel like the game's not exciting anymore, that's a dumb reason to get rid of the shift.
I agree.
Hitters should get better. Hitters should work on figuring out how do you attack the shift if they come after you with the shift. Remember,
Would you say the same thing in basketball though? Like when they brought.
Yeah, I hear the chip.
Yeah, I heard the chip there. Oh man.
Like with when they was talking about whether or not to bring back what the fuck zone defenses, right? Like that was the same argument that they were saying is like some people were like on the side of, well, you know, offensive players should dribble the ball better and do this, that, and the third and pass better, all this other shit.
Yeah, the zone defense is actually, to me, and we can definitely get into this. I know you guys all watch basketball and have played basketball before. To me, the zone defense is actually a weakness for the defense. The ball can always move faster than the feet of a human being. So if you can pass the ball correctly, you can beat a zone and get the ball to where you want to get it. So I don't think it actually hurts the NBA if they let the zone come back. I think the idea that it's exciting to watch guys dribble from maybe the three-point line and then get a nice dunk, and that goes away with the zone. I understand that part. But to me, I think you're going to see more offense if people are zoning and you can actually pass the ball the way that people shoot three ball nowadays. Come on, man. I think the scores might be like 150 to 130 if you
everyone's going to be chucking up shots in the zone.
I think one of the things that like baseball, basketball, and hockey needs to do is they need to reduce the number of games, man. 162 is way too much for baseball. 82 is too much for basketball. Just cut
What's
it
the
down.
number would they drop it to?
I don't know. I don't know how they will work it out, but you can make it work.
Nah, baseball's fun at 162. Yeah, there's nothing going on in the summer.
Exactly.
Well, here's a question for you guys, because I think Steve might have a point here. Do you guys think that there should only be one season per year in a sport? Or like, do you think maybe if they split it up into 2 seasons in the same year, let's say for basketball, instead of it going all the way from the summer league all the way to June of the next year, right? Because that's really the full season. You know, we're not talking about just the 82 regular season games. We're talking about their summer league, then there's the full 82, then there's the playoffs. And by the time the NBA Finals finishes, it literally went June to July, or July to June pretty much. What if they made the season shorter and they actually had 2 seasons? So like it was kind of like semesters in school, right? Where you have an October to January season and then another season that starts again in the summer.
I don't like that.
Trash.
I don't like it.
Trash.
Trash.
So nice.
1
2
season.
minutes spent there.
Yeah.
Baseball needs to do a hard like pitch clock, and if they go over the 30 seconds or 35 seconds or whatever, it's a ball. It's a ball right away.
That's the way it works.
But they don't enforce it.
No, what happens is they the umpires. You're right. The umpire's supposed to enforce it. So like
right away, like, yo, ball, you took too long. Next, let's go.
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
You have in the opposite direction. So like if a batter steps out of the box and the umpire it doesn't matter where the ball is, they'll call a strike just because the batter.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like a balk or something like that.
Yeah,
I've seen like a balk, but I've never seen like not off of a pitch clock.
I've only seen it once, and they just don't enforce it because like. Think about it. Arguing with the umpire also takes time in the game too, right? Like if the pitcher starts arguing, the catcher is
no arguing.
But what's there to argue on a pitch clock?
Well, let's say
like it is what it is. Like,
I'll give you an example. I'm on the mound. I'm looking. I get my signal. Maybe the signals got crossed up. I want them to repeat it. Then I'm about
Step
to
off.
I'm about to pitch, and a fly flies right in front of my face, and I step off the mound for a second, and then I want to set up again, and you go time ball.
Balk.
Yeah, ball.
And then what do you do when there's someone on first or second? I think that'd be kind of hard to have a
steal.
pitch clock.
No more steals.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point. I didn't even think about. Nah,
Yeah,
you
strike it out or hit a home run. That's it.
Yeah, the pickoff is
yeah,
trash.
you can't be like no steals, but you can't just be like no steals.
Well, maybe it should be like softball, right? Where you can't run until
You can't take a lead.
This is sounding horrible.
That's true.
Yeah.
These are trash.
Yeah,
ideas.
this segment has been trash.
Horrible the way it is now.
Yo, Steve can't talk baseball no more.
I'm actually kind of with Steve on this one. Baseball's looking trash.
It's trash.
Because you're a Mets fan.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean,
you didn't really like the trade
See,
deadline.
when them tables turn, bruh. When them tables turn.
I mean, tables turn. Tables been on this side forever. When did they ever? I'm waiting for them to turn. Still.
No, I'm just being. I mean, in this podcast, you started off talking cash Yankee shit.
But how is DeGrom 5-7 with an ERA under 2?
Because he has no run support. Have you ever watched him when he pitches?
Yeah.
They don't score till like the 8th inning, and that's only 1 run.
Yo, y'all should have gave him up. Give him a chance, man.
And the NBA should be the top 16 teams.
You should have gave up Torres.
And they get reseeded in the playoffs.
100%.
That's how you fix it. Yep.
Yes.
Wait, say that again, Steve?
The top 16 teams make it into the playoffs, and then they reseed them. It's not just East versus West. It's just the top 16 teams. Like 16.
Does the NBA just do that?
NFL should do that too.
What do you care? You're not watching.
But
I'm not watching,
until you got watched. Shut up about the NFL.
The thing is with the NFL,
Did they change the rule yet?
No, it's back to they can't enforce that yet until they settle it.
Yeah, they haven't.
Right
they haven't settled anything.
Steve,
Well, hey, but
Steve
it looks like
to get rid of his boycott.
But if they hit an impasse,
time out real fast.
No, but Steve, that means
when is the
they
fantasy
can kneel.
Yeah, when is the
yeah, currently they can kneel. The way everything is right now, they can kneel.
I'm gonna work on it.
Commissioner Murray.
Wait. Technically, they can kneel still?
Yeah, they can still kneel right now.
Oh, shit. I'm back.
Woo! There it is.
Got rid of that boycott on a technicality. That was
Goal number 3 coming my way now.
Super.
Goal number 3.
Look at that.
Dizzle's
Yo, where's the integrity, Steve? Where's the integrity?
Steve be handing us chip game.
Where's the integrity, my guy?
He gave up Kanye. That's good enough.
Kanye's out of here. Get Kanye out of here.
And that's where it begins. Look at Ali's face. Ali's like,
Kanye come back and be like, yo, I want to spin what I said.
Ali, I'll give you back the power. You can take the power back too.
What do we think about? Because I know we previously talked about that Nas album.
Here we go, Travis Scott.
Now that we sat on it a little bit, and now that Nas is coming out with another album, basically saying his last one was trash.
Nas basically said the album was trash, which I got to say now.
No, he didn't say that. Jay-Z.
He said it was trash.
Jay-Z and Beyonce said that.
Nah, Nas said it too. Nah, Nas said it.
Nas said he don't know what the album was about. He never heard the songs. And the album came out, he was like, what the fuck?
Yep.
To be honest, a lot of people are saying that about the Kanye produced album.
Oh,
they
what
don't
happened
know what
now?
was going on. I mean,
trash.
Yo,
there's still good tracks on that album.
Kanye was like, yo, let me listen to it a little bit. I'm gonna do some stuff for you. I got you. Don't worry about it. It's free. It's on the house. And
that's what he did for everybody.
And then it was release date.
The same thing with Tiana Taylor. Like she is hot. She's hot about the way this whole album
is smoking hot. She's a freak too.
Not having.
I don't think that's what he was saying, Rob.
The second he mentioned Tiana Taylor, how can you
not hot under the collar.
I was gonna say she tight, but that'd have been a whole other situation.
The Mets are playing the Red Sox. Who's playing now?
Like it matters?
Oh my god!
That just means that you guys are gonna lose more.
Watch the Mets sweep them.
Yo, that should be.
I think they're winning 5-0. Is that right?
What?
Yeah, listen, we could use that. Anyway,
Oh yeah, 5-zip. We're playing the Reds, not the Red Sox. We're
But-
playing Matt Harvey.
yeah, Matt Harvey.
the Reds.
Yo, you see?
Damn. Yo, so to Steven's point, I don't know about the NFL changing the seeding because to me, the NFL typically, because there's only 16 games, almost every team has a shot. Like in the last couple weeks, everybody's about you heard that? What was that?
Somebody went like this, a big head.
It sounded like somebody put a whoopee cushion to their microphone right there.
Yeah, I'm saying that was Steve.
Yeah, I feel
That's
like
not me.
I feel like
I'm
the
in an
last
empty
2 or
room.
3 weeks of the NFL season, almost like 60% of each conference has a shot at making the playoffs. So it's like, why change it?
Of all the sports, they have the least amount of problems. Like the only thing about the NFL is like sometimes there's too many like penalties and like the game stops too often. That's about the only thing really, and the concussion shit.
I think the NFL has the least amount of problems on the field.
On the
Has
field.
the most amount of problems in their back offices. To me, I think they got to figure something.
I'm just talking about like the sport. It's like the actual play, not like all the other shit.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's interesting because for everything that's wrong with the NFL in my eyes, once the game begins, everything's right for some reason. Yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm boycotting the NFL, and I found myself
Wait for that first highlight.
dude.
Yeah, but
a couple days ago, I was at the airport.
The Hall of Fame game.
Thursday night. I'm at the airport, and I'm on my laptop, and I look up, and I see the Hall of Fame game playing, and I'm over here like this, watching Benny Cunningham break off a 30-yard run with my mouth open, dog.
Oh my God!
And I was like, you know what?
I feel
No,
like
it's pulling you back in.
Ali's gonna break.
Ali's definitely gonna break.
Bend, but don't break.
Ali's gonna
Bend,
break.
bend, but don't.
Yo, if the
bending
Eagles
like
start
a
like
gym.
3-0, Ali's back in.
That's what's gonna happen.
Nah, man.
That's
If the Eagles,
exactly what's
yo,
gonna
you
happen.
crazy? If the Eagles start 3-0, I'm definitely not watching. I want to see if they go 16-0. If maybe I'm the curse. If they go 3-0, like if they
Nah,
go
they're
like
not gonna go
0-5, then
3-0.
maybe I might have to watch because maybe
They're winning.
Yo,
They're winning the
You gonna
division.
catch an
Hey,
L
yo,
way
this-
earlier than that.
Yo, Dizzle,
Oh.
what you
Yo.
think? What you think about that little media profile they did on your boy Jerry last Monday? Did you see
The video you posted?
Yeah.
Oh man, Jerry's a clown. He needs to go. But fuck yeah, I still support the Cowboys. Can't help it.
He's trash. I'm gonna give him money though.
Nah, I don't have to give him money. I could just watch the game from a distance.
Yeah,
How
that's
do you
your
feel about the
subscription
Madden
money.
shit?
That's your subscription
Yo, fuck
money.
it.
Yo,
We
that
can
was
have it, man.
wild, yo. That Madden shit is crazy. The fact that
That Madden,
You
yeah.
guys know about this? Ali, do you hear about
Yeah.
this?
Yo, I mean, they apologized and said that it was an oversight, and I'm like, really?
Yeah, bullshit.
All the
They
words
put it back in.
oversight. You know, like they could have like
Oversight.
of all the curse words that are in all these songs, Kaepernick was the one that was just like, whoa, we can't have
Yeah.
Kaepernick in this song.
But not for that.
Whoa.
Why
My son will
even
never
put that
say that.
song in to begin with if you know the verse is there?
Because they
Wait,
was
time
being
out, time out,
petty.
time out.
They was being petty, son. That's the whole point.
What did they
That's
do?
It's
They
like,
blurted out
So they
Kaepernick.
included, they put in. So on
Why
the,
they
you
took
know, how
them at the game?
nah. So, but you know
Nah,
how they
they
have they have a soundtrack, like all the
Yeah,
Maddens,
yeah,
they have a soundtrack. On the soundtrack is the song with it's like Big Sean, 2 Chainz,
Yeah,
like,
Big Bang.
It's
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
Vic. It's YG song.
yeah, YG song, yeah. And they just smooth like blanked my nigga Kaepernick out the shit.
But they blurted it out.
They just,
They bleeped
man.
it.
They just bleeped it, son. That shit was
you know,
crazy.
isn't it? Now, I can understand if they were saying something like, oh, well, since he's not in the game, you know, we don't want to pay any royalties to him as a person because he's not NFL,
Nah.
you know, since he's not a player anymore, maybe there's like some sort of.
He's not in the game.
Well, he's on the team. Why would he be in the game?
How would he be in the game?
He could be in the free agent pool because there is a free agent pool in every Madden.
You can
Now,
create them.
I want somebody who has access to Madden to tell me if there's if there's a bunch of free agents and Kaepernick's not in there, there's the conspiracy in itself.
But there
Well,
was
now they'll probably put him in there.
Damn
But
it,
there
I
was a
should've never said
song
that.
last year. They blurted his name out last year.
Did they?
So this happened
Did
from
they?
last year. It just was not a big song like the YG song. So that's why this one made waves.
Yeah, because everybody knows that everybody knows that
They're
song.
on. So technically, Madden doesn't have to do that. but you already know who probably strong-armed them to do that.
Well, here's what I
Paul.
wonder though. Here's what I wonder. I wonder if Madden tried to take the initiative themselves, and the NFL is like, "Nigga, what are y'all doing?" Like, because with the whole shit, NFL suspended that rule, and the NFL also told Jerry to shut the fuck up too. So I wonder if the NFL really had anything to do with it, or Madden was just like, or EA Sports or whoever was like, "Yo,
EA
we're gonna
Sports
do
was
this."
just following their lead. I mean, you already see how they've been. So what you mean? Don't take his name out.
Let's kick the ballistics. Let's kick the ballistics here. We didn't go across the board, and I'd love to hear everybody's vote.
Allegedly.
Who do you think has more power in the NFL? Roger Goodell or Jerry Jones?
Jerry Jones.
Definitely.
Jerry Jones. And all of us who aren't even Cowboys fans can tell you that dude controls 60% of the NFL.
He has the most valuable team in the league. So it's just like
he pissed off a lot of other owners this year.
Dude,
this past year.
Just remember that Roger Goodell was supposed to get an extension last year, and the reason why it was held up was because Jerry Jones told a couple of other dudes, "Yo, I don't like this dude." So he got to earn his way back into my graces. The rest of the owners were like, "Yo, look at the profits. They're soaring right now. Let's get him an extension." The only reason why he got that extension was because he made Jerry happy. So
the other part of this, the other part of this that's real interesting to me, and that this shit won't play out for like another maybe 10, 15 years. Jerry might die in the meantime. But like the blue wave that's happening in Texas right now, like Texas is turning hella blue from the way it used to be. So I wonder if
not cowboy blue.
And not cowboy blue. Yeah.
He means cowboy blue and Democratic blue.
It's Texan blue because
yeah, man, exactly. So yeah,
it's actually chili blue.
I just feel like that's gonna play a role into like, you know, obviously the anthem shit probably in 10 years is probably not gonna be a non-issue at that point. They're probably gonna figure it out. But just like the whole way his stance on this shit, I think that shit's gonna be going away, man, because Texas is getting way more liberal than, you know, what it used to be. And granted that not all, you know, Texans are Cowboys fans or all Cowboys fans live in Texas, but I think that's gonna play. I think it's gonna play a role in like the way the team is managed in the near future.
So don't you find this funny? I'm sorry, Ali, you were saying?
No, go ahead.
So I just wanted to go back to the Kaepernick thing while we were still on it. Because I as some of you know, like you guys know, I was in Virginia for the last week. And I'm not going to say while I was there, but basically I was riding this bus down there and having a conversation with somebody that was on this fellow trip with me.
You was on a Peter Pan bus?
No.
Not like that. Okay.
I know what you mean. The Jay-Z line, I got you. What was I going to say? So basically, this guy went to Kaepernick's high school, and he brought up Kaepernick. And he was like, oh, I can't stand him. This guy's general area is from, let's just say, he's in the Midwest area. I want to say like Illinois, Indiana type area. Where did Kaepernick go to high school? Did he go to Maryland or something? Where was it?
I have no idea.
Either way, he said he went to high school with Kaepernick. Like Kaepernick went to his high school and he was such a gifted athlete, but I can't stand him. He's a disgrace. And I'm just wondering, I'm like, well, why is he a disgrace? And he's like, well, how do you kneel for the whole anthem? I don't believe that's it. And I'm like, obviously where I was, I didn't want to get political because in the environment,
he was probably outnumbered.
That too, I was definitely outnumbered. But it was just so crazy the animosity that you felt from him over something that's a misunderstanding in the end.
You should have asked him how he felt about Jerry Jones not taking his cap off for the anthem.
He probably wouldn't care about that.
That was
he 100% wouldn't have cared. But when you ask that question, it makes the motherfucker realize that how much of a hypocrite he is.
He has no leg to stand on.
Yeah, I remember how this all started.
I got into 2 arguments that spoke about that.
We remember how it all started.
Because he at first he was sitting down and he said that an Army veteran came to him and said, "Yo, it's
Told him to
actually
kneel.
more disrespectful if you sit. If you kneel, it's less disrespectful. We prefer it if you kneel." That's what an Army veteran told him.
Yeah,
That's why he started.
that's what I told them.
So
But they don't care.
I
They
think
do not care at all.
can I give my 2
The
seconds?
shit ain't about the anthem, the flag, none of it. It's not about the
They
troops. It's
feel
about none of
all
that.
all they see is what Trump painted that picture of. That they're disrespecting the
But
troops.
technically, didn't Jerry Jones kneel for the anthem too, or was that
Well,
before
that was
Yeah,
No?
before the anthem.
That was
Before
one
the
game.
anthem.
It was
He
before.
was
I know, but I'm just
Well, and that was because he had a personal vendetta, not to make a social statement. And here's the thing, I think the problem that I have with this animosity towards Colin Kaepernick, history is always, they always say hindsight is 20/20, right? Like you get to see things clearer when you move on. When you look at all the people we consider civil rights activists and like who've made change in this country, it always takes about 20, 25 years of people writing stories and talking about them for you to look back and go, damn, I don't know if I could have done that, right? And I think the interesting thing is, whether it was Rosa Parks being, willing to get arrested for sitting in the front of the bus, or people like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King literally sacrificing their lives for their cause. Like today, people don't think that way, right? Like people won't even sacrifice, their meal to make a change in this country. And this guy, like Colin Kaepernick, and I know Rob has told us clearly before that he's made some money on the side in this process as well. You're talking about a guy who could have easily made multi-millions of dollars. He could have had some guaranteed contract money that all these quarterbacks are getting in the NFL. But he chose to sacrifice that career in order to become now vilified by tons of people as a social activist. And I think it's interesting that people who won't even sacrifice a $50,000 salary of their own when their company does something crazy would vilify a guy who's willing to put that much of himself out there, right? Like he's the face of this argument now. Remember, it has nothing to do with him, but he is the face of it now. He's embraced that and said, fine, if I got to carry that burden, then let it be me. But a lot of people were kneeling. A lot of people were upset with the social injustice in this country. Kaepernick's just the easiest name to remember. And I think it is messed up.
Well, he's the one that started it too. Granted.
Well, no, I think it was.
No, he wasn't the started.
Eric Reed and someone.
Oh, he really?
Yeah.
So that I was not aware.
Yeah,
of.
there was a couple other players who were doing it before him, and then he joined in on it. Now the thing is, there's still people who were kneeling last year, and those folks aren't getting vilified as much as a guy.
Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, who has been colluded against by the NFL. Like, there's so much overt, like, hate towards this guy. And I'm hoping that 15 years from now, when we open up a textbook that talks about change in this country, and we look at American history with another lens, that people do see, like, that was a selfless act on his part to, like, give up his career, give up his position. He could have been freaking making movies and being a – I'm not saying that he was going to be, like, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, but – he played in San Francisco, like he could have been in movies. He's a great athlete. He could have played a different place, role on the field. I think it's a selfless move on his part. And for all those people, and I hope you're listening and watching this, if you're one of the people who vilifies him and says that guy, disrespects our country or disrespects our military, really take a step back and just ask yourself, would you be able to do something like this if it meant something to you, right? If something really meant that much to you, would you be willing to sacrifice your salary, death threats coming your way, your family feeling like they can't go shopping, the whole country talking about you? Even before you wake up, there's somebody already talking about you, right? Like, could you do that? And if you couldn't do that, just at least give the guy a break for that. I mean, just give him a break for that. But sorry about that rant.
Well said.
Well said. Well said.
I had two arguments about the Kaepernick shit this week. Sure. And when I was just like, all right, I was just annoyed. I'm done talking about it with the NFL because, like you said, the whole point of it is just lost. Yep. No point of even talking about it anymore.
Yeah, like it's not him. We're still not talking about the fact that social injustice in this country is a real thing. Like wherever you land on this topic about, whether Black Lives Matter or you believe all lives matter, like whatever that is, that was the whole conversation that needed to happen. Not whether or not Colin Kaepernick should have a job in the NFL or hated our military. and it was transitioned from a debate that needed to happen about how do we educate our communities to interact with police officers and for police officers to interact with different ethnicities and cultural groups in different neighborhoods to ensure the safety of all people. It became a conversation about whether or not this guy hates our military and should get a job, right? Like that's a weird transition to me that, you know, like for people not to see that happened, it's manipulation of our mind.
But that exactly, it's framing the argument. That's all it is. It's reframing the argument. It's like, if I disagree with what he says, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to discredit this motherfucker. So like that's why they brought up the fucking Castro socks. That's why they brought up like all the little stupid.
That was a dumb move, though. I mean,
no, the pig socks was a dumb idea too. I thought that one was
pig socks. That's what I meant.
The pig socks, yeah. I mean, even to a certain extent, the Castro, like regardless of like what side of that argument you fall, you have to know that people are going to try to use that as against like the stand that he's trying to make.
Don't give them ammo.
Don't give them ammo. Exactly.
Well, here's the thing. I mean,
well, they're gonna find ammo no matter what.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays.
He could have went to the store and bought some Ben and Jerry's, and they'd have been like, "Oh, but that company does this and supports that, and blah blah blah." But you still bought Ben and Jerry. It doesn't matter.
Bunch of communists,
regardless. Here's an interesting thing for you guys, because I think that, you know, when you were mentioning Black Stephen, when you were talking about Jerry Jones and like how the cultural dynamic in the state of Texas is not really going to align with his personal views on how the country should work in the next 10 to 15 years. What are your thoughts on like these people's kids? Because I look at what just happened recently with LeBron James. He opens a school. Mm-hmm. The president decides to tweet out something about, you know, insulting his intelligence nationally, right? Like that's
started.
Did you hear about that or no?
Yeah, it was just dumb.
Yeah, it was.
Did he do that? I thought he wasn't insulting Don Lemon's intelligence.
No, he said Don Lemon. He said Don Lemon actually made LeBron James look smart, and that's hard to do.
Oh, because I saw some other tweet where he was like,
"I like Mike."
Yeah, but he was like,
and then Mike came back was like, "I fully support LeBron James.
Yep,
everything that he's trying to do." And
that was whack. That was whack. That was Mike. Hey,
shout out to Mike for that. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, he had to do it, but we all know about
it. But he's talking about supporting him on the social aspect.
On a social.
I'm pretty sure if you ask Mike right now who's better, he'll still be like, "I'll beat him right now."
Exactly. He was getting backlash today. Jordan was getting backlash today because in this tweet, he said he supported LeBron and like what he was doing for his community, and people were saying like. Right, and people were saying like, "Oh, he didn't say our," and that's like a classic Michael Jordan thing.
Yeah, but I still feel like his applies with the school because the school's in Akron. Like,
it is his the community. No, but I think that's looking too deep in between the lines, and that's going to happen. And this is what I think we've talked about this before, right? When you tweet, when you group chat, whatever it is, those words have no tone to them, right? So like
somebody gonna get upset.
People are gonna read it how they want to read it.
Upset.
Now. The reason why I brought that up is because I believe
you love LeBron.
Was it Melania? Right? Melania was saying that she wants to go and visit LeBron James schools and like understand how they can help and support. And it's like, I think of Stephen. Right? That's Jerry Jones' son's name. Stephen Jones. Is that his name?
Yeah, Stephen Jones.
Like, shouldn't you like be like, listen, I love you, Pop, but I got to step away and say this differently because, you know, I have a different perspective? Or is there this blind loyalty to somebody?
But that's what it is.
I think Stephen Jones agrees with him, though.
I think so, too. But if Stephen Jones disagreed, he still wouldn't say shit because Jerry Jones is like that's how he's always run the team. People here, Cowboy fans, look, Dizzle. How many times have you been like, nigga, just shut the fuck up about the team?
Yeah.
Like, that's just how Jerry Jones gives it up. Like, that's how he gets down.
Also, I think Stephen Jones probably does that shit in private.
Oh, 100%.
He's not gonna come out in public and be like, yeah, told my dad to shut the fuck up. But you know,
I mean, let me tell you something. If Stephen Jones has kept his mouth shut all these years, waiting for Jerry Jones to like leave him all this money, he's not gonna say nothing now. So you can forget about that.
Stephen Jones does not have any power. The motherfucker just cleans glasses.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. That's why he's gonna stay
The
quiet.
whole
You don't
thing
do
is
shit,
like,
yo.
nigga, this is my birthright. I'm about to own this bitch in like 20 years. Let me just shut the fuck up and play ball. Regardless, now I'm sure him and Jerry probably agree on tons of shit. Probably even this one. But I feel like the way Steven would have handled this would have been totally different.
But here's the thing, right? Like, how many Cowboys fans like yourself are they losing along the way? Right?
There's a few. I seen a couple niggas burning jerseys on
I mean,
IG and Facebook.
This is still Texas.
Listen, I'm
Yeah,
not
they
saying,
ain't gonna lose fans.
listen, the
Say
Cowboys
Houston,
Nation
Texas.
is huge.
This is Dallas.
Cowboys Nation is huge. I know you're not going to lose like 50% overnight.
Nah.
But I'm saying let's just say the last few years, and let's say this keeps going for another 3 years. You're talking about a dent of maybe 10 to 20% of that fan base wondering, like, can I really support this team? That's big on revenue. That's big for the NFL. Like, I feel like there's this very limited like review of some of the activities and comments that Jerry Jones is making, where it's like, well, because he has this net worth value to the NFL, we're going to let it slide. But isn't there like an assessment that you make on whether or not that's going to hurt you down the line and go, all right, we got to clean this up?
So
yeah,
it's like, I feel like
I don't agree with that, only because the way the news works now, in 2 weeks, no one's even going to talk about it.
It's true.
Everyone's going to forget. Those dudes that were burning jerseys are going to start watching the game, especially if Dak and Zeke light it up.
That's why it's so weird that, like, this is all self-inflicted by the NFL. Like, all they had to do was just not say anything. Period.
This is why I agree with you, Dizzle. What Steve's saying is right. Like 2 weeks from now, everybody's going to be ready for game time. And by the time the first Thursday night football game is over, Friday morning, somebody in the NFL and probably Jerry Jones will put his foot in his mouth and say something unnecessary about what happened on Thursday night.
And all y'all motherfuckers still going to tune in.
Oh, I never said I wouldn't. I wasn't an idiot to say that. I know myself.
Listen,
I'll be watching every Sunday and Thursday.
I didn't mean y'all niggas specifically.
And Monday.
All of y'all niggas.
Yeah, I'm still watching Phil. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, man. Listen, and I get it. I think
I don't give a fuck.
To me, the biggest problem with the NFL the last maybe 5 to 7 years is how politics has influenced the game beyond belief. And it's like, to me, I think a lot of people turn to sports because they didn't want to deal with like the daily struggles of politics, social, issues, economic issues that are causing different. Yeah, it's an escape. And I think that, to me, let's be honest, guys. We talked about this before. Why the hell are they even showing the national anthem in the first place, right? Like, why is it that this is a good opportunity for somebody to make money with commercials, right? I'd rather see a Doritos commercial.
But they're making that money from the armed forces. That's the whole shit.
But you know what? How's people not talking about how the armed forces makes their money, right? The debt that this company is in because of military spending. How about that?
You can't talk about that stuff.
Why can't we talk about it?
I mean,
I know you're saying it like, but rhetorically. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the stuff that people really should be concerned about becomes like a blanket over your.
But I think what you said is what it is. People tune in.
Rest of the battle.
People tune into sports to like as an escape. And that's what it is. That's why nobody wants to think about it. Even if we know, like we all know half the niggas on it. Not half, I'm not going to say that. But we know like there's a nigga on that team that beat the fuck out of his wife. You don't care about that. There's a nigga that like robbed 12 niggas. Yeah, exactly. No, you don't give a shit. That nigga, you remember that nigga Sam Hurd? That nigga was like had a whole like cocaine trafficking network. Yeah. My son was Ghost.
There's been at least 4 or 5 criminal enterprises in the NFL that have been
and like 80% of them start playing for the Cowboys.
Here's the thing. It's like the same people who go on a Sunday and will stand up for the anthem and say like this is the right thing to do for our military. That same Sunday night are at a bar fighting 5 Marines. And I go, hold on.
100%.
I don't understand. So like that question that I just asked about military spending is not because I have any sort of issue with it. I think
it's always like that. Cause look at even like right wing people, like Republicans that like are what is it? Against abortion. They're pro-life. They're pro-life, but then like they're for
kill people though.
They're for separating. They're for separating kids like at the border. or like
Oh, yeah.
cutting like welfare, or like not providing like certain services to like moms that are pregnant.
That's the whole thing. Yeah, make sure they're born so we can not give a fuck about them.
It's always this weird disconnect that people have with like these certain beliefs that they hold that never really like pans out all the way. Like I don't know, they pick and choose when they want to like believe.
Yes.
And
So
these
it's
are the
like,
people who are influencing the games that we watch. You know what I'm saying? Like
I was telling. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
I was talking to like a couple coworkers. What's the two dudes on the Braves last week? It was like two dudes in the dugout, all hugged up and shit.
What's his name? Oz, the rookie, and
so like one dude's Venezuelan and the other dude's from Curacao, right? So it's just like I just feel like, yo, that's in different countries, motherfuckers display. You know what I'm saying?
So can I tell you guys what happened with that story and why?
Yeah,
go ahead.
So,
I think you're gonna be wrong. I think you're gonna. You don't say the mom thing.
First explain what happened so people know.
That wasn't the truth. That was not the truth.
So
it was a weird embrace, regardless.
For those who haven't seen the story, there was two Braves players who were recorded in the dugout in an interesting embrace where one was rubbing the other guy's hair and kind of consoling him.
Hey.
Now, the announcers were like, well, that's an interesting embrace there. That must be their way of having a good time, or like really trying to like make it seem awkward. Now, the news that came out afterwards, and I think Black Stefan's correcting me about this, maybe I didn't read past it, was that one of the players had just lost their mom and the other one was consoling.
Wasn't true. Not true.
That wasn't true.
No. So like what it is somebody actually made that story up because they got tired of seeing all the homophobia that was like being tweeted out about this. So that person just completely made up a story. But like you go to the mom's Instagram, the mom is like still tweeting right now. She's alive.
They were just hugging like that in the between.
They were just hugged up and nobody has explained anything yet. But here's the thing. Like, so like at my job, for instance, right? Exactly. So like at my job, I deal with India like a lot as a country, right? So like these Indian dudes, like they call in on a professional call, and that's how they greet other men. They call each other pet names like dear, honey, my love. They like, and that's just normal for them.
You mean like Future? Not Future. What's his name? Young Thug. What's his name?
Nah. That's some other
husband.
Shit. Zuzbin or some shit like that. Whatever the fuck they call it. Nah, it's not. It's not like that. That's just
the guy on the phone be like, "Hey, Black Daddy" or something like that.
Chill. Nah, so like if I'm done with the phone call, he'll be like, "Yo, is there anything else you need, dear?" And like the first time I heard that, I was about to square up. Like, son, don't talk.
You gonna square up with a phone?
don't talk to me like that.
You gonna grab the headset and punch through it?
But like a dude had to explain to me. He was like, nah. He was like, yo, that's how. Like, if you're a friend of somebody, that's the way you talk to them. Like,
but it was just, but it was weird. Just the whole thing, like. It was like in the context, like it was in the middle of a baseball game.
But that's to you. But that's you looking at it from like an American.
But why would you do that during a baseball game?
But it doesn't matter.
And not only that, but then like one dude was like sitting on top of the bench. Why didn't he come off the bench and just give him a regular hug? Like, I don't understand what they were
because
doing.
they wanted to embrace that way.
That's the way that
one guy braiding the other guy's hair.
We want to see people interact the way we feel comfortable. Exactly. That's really what it is. It's in our mind. Some people, I didn't mind it at all. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it would have been even funny if he started braiding his hair. Like I thought that shit would have been crazy.
Yeah, but you can say that about anything. Though. Like again, these are like social norms. Like what if he would have went on to him and punched him? We're gonna do that. Well, that's how they greet each other and like whatever.
Who's to say that this doesn't happen?
Yeah, but that's abusive. though. That's different.
Wait, who's to say this doesn't happen in every dugout in the major league? The only difference was the camera was facing them this time.
Exactly.
Because there's cameras all over the
exactly. So to me, I feel like it's a good conversation for people to have. Like, yo, do I feel comfortable with that, or why is?
And
why
then
is it
honestly, let's say these two niggas is gay. Like, so what?
All right, ladies and gents, boys and girls, everybody who tuned in this week, thank you for watching this episode. Make sure you hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed what we're doing and you want to support us. Share it on your social networks. It's fun for us to know that we love hearing the comments back, and we're on Twitter So definitely follow us there and message us. The phone number is below, all of that stuff. But thanks again for joining. So we appreciate you guys joining. As always, I'm your boy Ali, a.k.a. Hoffa, joined by, to my left, Stevie P.
Yep.
Boy Dizzle from LES.
What's good?
The boy Black Stefan, a.k.a. Brujo Mars, repping that Long Beach. And Merck, the Mets representative from Queens.
All day, every day.
Get
Queen.
that hat out of here. Get it out of here.
Hater.
Yankees about to go on that 40-game win streak right now. We appreciate you. Subscribe. Salute.
Chapman blow.